What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clevers.
This is the Nightly Morning Show. We're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League follow-up motion comic. We are going to be talking about some weekend box office, what happened to Black Widow. We will tell you inside the episode. And also, some interesting Kenobi casting news. We get Nerdy Nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That is right. Welcome back to the show. But the show doesn't start until I ask the question. Clarus, how you doing?
I was like, oh, the show is not going to start. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. We got a crazy week ahead of us.
Yeah, this one's big.
Yep, and we've had like a crazy couple of weeks behind us. So,
yep.
you know.
Those were big.
It's what it is.
Why are we so busy?
We do this to ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
It's fine though. You know, it's good. It's all for the Nerdy Nightly.
We were supposed to have One Cup, One Controller last night, and we just burnt ourselves out last week. We did.
Yeah.
We overscheduled ourselves so much so that this week we're like trying to figure out if we can fit things in Thursday and Friday night, despite the fact that we're shooting a short film Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Like we don't have time.
Filming.
You're gonna be a little star, a little movie star.
Okay. Yeah, I'm, for those of you who haven't heard, I am shooting a short film this week, which I'm really excited about. It's going to be like I keep saying it's kind of horror, because it kind of is.
It kind of is a horror,
but it's not, like, scary, if that makes sense.
No, it's a deconstruction of the horror genre.
Yeah.
Through a modern lens. Let's call it that.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun, so I'm really excited. I think you guys are going to love it.
And I get to have a little part in it, too.
Yeah, David is going to guest star into it.
I'm riding her coattails to stardom, y'all.
Oh, my God. Okay. Thank you.
But I wanted to talk, we talked about it in the pre-show when we were just chatting with people. I wanted to talk to you about a comment you got on Instagram. Because someone didn't want you to be using the Skyrim hashtag.
Here's the thing. I got several comments. If you were not following this, I took it over to Twitter yesterday because I was feeling salty and... It's fine. Yeah, for my Saturday posts, I have like a posting schedule on Instagram on Saturdays. In my caption, I always say, Skyrim Saturday, come and join and hang out, or whatever. And I had a bunch of people very upset with me that I posted a selfie and hashtagged Skyrim. Apparently nobody read the caption. Not a single one of them. That would have been like your first clue, maybe. But yeah, they're very upset. I was hashtagging Skyrim, and then this one girl got into it with me and was like, "Do you have no self-respect?" And I was like,
Well, I think my favorite thing they said was like, "You just want the simps to come watch you play video games," or something like that.
Yeah,
and I
was like, "Who hurt you?" Like literally, like that is what I commented, because I was like, "Look, you're clearly just having a hard time, and that sucks." But I was fuming. I was like, I can use whatever hashtag I want. Honestly, what I wanted to comment was I was gonna be like, well, get used to my face, because I'm not gonna stop using the hashtag.
Yeah.
Like, I play Skyrim.
You play Skyrim a lot.
I play Skyrim at least once a week. And I have for like 2 years. So yeah, I'm not going to stop using the Skyrim hashtag. People are going to be salty about it. They can be salty about it. I think
it was also someone wrote, like, I come to this hashtag for Skyrim content, and I'm just like, yeah, and I'm trying to lead you to it.
Yeah.
I have the Holy Grail.
Here,
it's Skyrim Saturday.
Skyrim content.
Yeah, it's just funny. The comments that we get now, because we're, as public online as we are, really crack me up. Like, people say the funniest stuff. Yeah. And I just...
Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, and people think they're so smart on the internet. Yeah. And they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something. I usually, like, I don't know. I try not to, like, get into things, really. But it just was, like, so silly. And I can't. And then, of course, some lovely ladies came to my support, and it was... shout out to Liza Bear.
I mean, we have a really awesome community
we do,
on Twitch of like supportive lady friends.
Yeah, for sure. And
It's a weird way to put that.
No. I'm very grateful to have other like girl gamers in my life, because growing up, I was like the only girl that played video games that I knew, really.
Yeah.
Like I would go for sleepovers at other people's houses, and I would try and like force them into video games. And like thinking back on it now, I thought that they really enjoyed it, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. Like I'd be like, let's play RuneScape for 12 hours straight. And so I don't know. But
I'm so glad you haven't found another MMO to get into, because I like our marriage quite a bit. You know what I mean? Like I'm really glad that. Although here's the thing, like for those of you who follow us know, like I'm trying to find like a real world job to like supplement our income a little bit. We're doing great online. I thank you so much to everyone who's helped us get to this point. But I also just like want to find like a 3-shift-a-week job that I can like get out of the house for.
Yeah.
And like be on my feet. I feel like I'm sitting in like my gaming chair all the time, editing or playing, and it's a great life. I have no reason to complain. But when I get my job, if anyone will hire me,
They will.
There's a few places it's been a week, y'all.
Yeah.
You'll have time. You can jump into a new MMO. You can like find a like world to get sucked into. Maybe get into ESO.
Well,
more.
yeah, Fanta and I played it once, and I'm kind of like, I would do that again.
Did you like it? Did you like ESO?
Yeah, it was fine. I jumped into it, and it didn't like hook me. Okay. But I was like, this is cool. Like I would give this a chance. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it didn't do anything to like suck me in, if that makes sense. Like there was no like I don't know.
Hardcore says, who wouldn't want to hire discount David Harbour?
Wow, you've never heard that one before.
Never. Before we get into the news, y'all, I just want to mention Javy Coffee really quick. Javy Coffee. It is the fastest way to get your coffee fix in the morning. All you do, it's a coffee concentrate. All you do is you take 2 teaspoons. I take a tablespoon because I have a problem. And you put it into your favorite liquid. That's what it says on the bottle. Put it into your favorite liquid to make a cup of coffee.
Chocolate almond milk works well.
Yes. Here's the thing. I put it into dark chocolate almond milk. I know almond milk is bad for the environment. I'm working on it. I also like to put a little bit of cashew milk in some water with some maple syrup. Iced coffee in the morning. 10 seconds. I'm telling you, it takes 10 seconds because all you got to do is pour. If you need to get your Javy Coffee fix, there is a link in the description. There is a link in the chat right now. And to everyone who's already ordered Javy Coffee, thank you. We do get paid when you order it. So I just wanted to say thank you for supporting us in that way. And thank you to Javy Coffee for reaching out and starting this little sponsorship off. I love your product. It's very good. It's just... when they first reached out, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Like coffee concentrate sounds weird.
Yeah.
Is it gonna taste good? And it's great. I've ordered it for myself now. Like I'm like, well, they sent me a free sample and it was amazing. And I was like, well, this is so much easier than making coffee in the morning. So I'm now paying them.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not making money anymore.
No. But that's okay. You have something that you love.
Wait a second, Javy.
I see what you did
Wait
there.
a dang second.
It's smart.
This is the problem with drugs. And caffeine is a drug. They give you the first one for free so that you can't leave. Javy Coffee street dealed me.
Oh my god.
It's good though. So I'm like not mad, but I'm upset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel you.
Damn it. They got me.
Popcorn wants to know if they could add extra sparkling water.
They say your favorite liquid. So
yeah, technically you could if you wanted to.
If you wanted to actually hardcore soft popcorn, if you did like an iced sparkling water in the morning with Javy and like a little bit of maple syrup, I think that would actually taste really good.
All right.
The gateway drug to energy on Monday.
Yeah, gotta do it somehow.
But yeah, command Javy in the chat if you want, or check the description down below. It is genuinely good. Mm-hmm. I'm not, I'm not being paid enough to lie to you. I promise. Because I will eventually lose money in this whole sponsorship deal to Javy as I continue to buy their product. But it's quite good. I recommend it. Mm-hmm. All right. But having said that, wait, what did I just do? That's the wrong button. Let's go into the news. The first new story of the... Frank Beans is saying the new Four Loko. Guys, don't add caffeine to alcohol. It's a bad mix.
It's not good for you.
You guys, the stories I could tell you about the stuff I did on the original Four Loko when I was in college. Before they took the caffeine out, before they took the stuff out. Guys, Four Loko when I was in college...
It's bad.
It's battery acid. and I made mistakes. I was 18, I was alone in New York City, and I did some things that I will never discuss publicly because I'm not sure when the statute of limitations runs out on them.
But maybe on Patreon.
Zack Snyder's Justice League was getting a motion comic sequel. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how they got some of the original stars. The Martian Manhunter from the show, Harry Lennox, the actor who plays the Martian Manhunter in the movie, he was signed on to do some narration. And some other actors had signed on. They had a full cast of actors to voice these characters, not the originals from the movie. Some other actors, they had a full-fledged team of artists ready. They were going to make this motion comic, turn the stories that Zack Snyder said Justice League 2 and 3 were going to become. They're going to make them into something, and they were going to do it for charity. They were going to raise money for suicide prevention in honor of Zack Snyder's daughter, who took her life while he was filming the Justice League movie, unfortunately. And it seemed like they were going to try and turn the lack of, momentum on the sequels into something positive for the world. And unfortunately, that has all kind of fallen apart now. In a move that has been a really divisive and complicated situation over the weekend, it was sort of brought to the attention of, I think, even the creators of the motion comic, that at least one of the artists working on it had been tracing over original art from DC Comics. Some Jim Lee art was very clearly used, some Wonder Woman drawings, some Green Lantern drawings from...
some Superman drawings.
Yeah, a Superman drawing as well. And over the course, really quickly here, this entire motion comic has sort of fallen apart and has now been canceled. The team behind it has said that they will no longer be moving forward with the project after conversations with the people they're working with, after this controversy has kind of made it a little bit untenable. It is really hard to make art and be accused of plagiarism with evidence and then keep going.
Yeah, you kind of can't anymore. And like plagiarism is very serious. I mean, they tried to like teach us that in school, but they did. But like you can't.
They tried to teach us that in school.
They did. They were you would fail, at least where I went to school. If you were caught like plagiarizing.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You would just fail. And yeah, this is really unfortunate, especially because it was supposed to be for a good cause.
Yeah.
And some people in the project kind of ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
By stealing art from other people, and that's not cool.
Well, and what's really unfortunate is the art that they traced over is the comic book versions of these characters, and so it doesn't even look right.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like the Superman drawing they traced over doesn't look like Henry Cavill. Yeah. The Wonder Woman art that they traced over doesn't look like Gal Gadot. Yeah. And so I'm not really sure what they were thinking, right? Because they were stealing.
Yeah.
But people, look, I enjoyed Zack Snyder's Justice League. I didn't love it. I wasn't like super waiting for this motion comic to come out. But I am very aware of the fact that there was a large percentage of people on the internet who are stoked for Snyder Cut stuff. They want it so bad. And when I saw that it was for charity, I was like, you know what? This is a great way for this to move forward right now. Yeah. Warner Brothers isn't interested, but there is a fan base for this story. There are people who want to see this story told. And, I was really excited for them. Yeah. I was really excited for people to get to see this. And I think those people would have ultimately been disappointed if this had been released and people didn't notice the traced art until later, because it doesn't look like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
No.
It looks like Jim Lee comics. I'm sorry, but it looks like someone traced Jim Lee comics, because that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like, every strand of hair they didn't even like change Wonder Woman's hair in this one shot, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like very clearly plagiarized line for line.
And it's unfortunate because there is a narrative within the media, and I want to acknowledge it, that there is a narrative within the media that calls the Snyder Cut fans toxic and bad. And I think that we've fed into that at times, because there are segments of that fandom, that extreme fandom.
Well, we've both had
we've had really, really awful things said to us, yeah.
With this fandom, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is the extremes. I think that's the fringes of this group, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to acknowledge that, there is really incredible They're incredible people within the Snyder Cut fandom. They've done incredible things. The charity work that they've previously done for suicide prevention and other charities is incredible.
Yeah.
And so, like, the Snyder Cut community is not, like, a net negative community. Mm-hmm. But this kind of puts another black mark on that. You know what I mean? Like, this looks bad for that community as a whole again. Yeah. And it's a community that I don't think deserves it.
Yeah.
But they're, you know, the brunt of the public image of this falls upon a group of people that shouldn't have this fall upon them. And it's kind of like another thing heaped upon them by a project that was supposedly for charity, you know? Like, it's just, it's really unfortunate.
It was supposed to, like, do good things.
Yeah.
And it just really sucks that this is what it has come to. And, you know, I'm sure that there are people who are super involved in this project who are very upset about it. Like, I couldn't imagine if I was working on a thing and I thought it was for a good cause and I was very, like, excited about it. And you have people who ruin it for everybody.
I want to bring up Lightcast, the people behind this project. They did have a tweet before before the project was canceled, when they were in like crisis management mode. Yeah. They tweeted this out, and I just want to bring it up because this is my don't do this lesson of the day for the internet. They tweeted, "We've seen a few concerns regarding Justice League motion comic art. Some of our art is inspired by the drawings of Jim Lee, Jason Fabok, and Ivan Rice, who are three of the artists that people were saying that had been traced over. The following sentence is the one, if you were ever in a PR moment, the following sentence is a sentence never to type in any form. Most of the drawings you'll see on this project will be 100% newly created original art, and we're very excited for y'all to see it. If you are being accused of plagiarism, never say most of, because that implies that some of are not 100% newly created art. Never, ever say most of in a tweet. I understand the sentiment behind this tweet, and I understand the situation they were in. Their backs were against the wall, and they were doing their best, but their best was not good enough in this moment.
No.
Never say most of when you're being accused of something. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you right now that in any legal situation that involves any accusation, most of is not a term you want to use. No. Because the implication is that some of it is stolen.
Yeah.
Most of the diamonds you found in my house I bought legally.
Yeah, it's...
Most?
Yeah, it's... I don't know who wrote that, but they should be fired. Like, I don't know why you thought that was... gonna help the situation at all.
It's just such an insane tweet. Like, most, just the word most is really dangerous, y'all. Be careful.
Yeah, it was not smart.
It just wasn't, and it's unfortunate, right? Because it inflamed the situation.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like there's a point where they could have walked back some of it. They could have been like, we fired the artist that did that. We're gonna replace that art. Don't worry. But when they were like, no, we're going to acknowledge that some of the art in this will be stolen, you're like, whoa.
Most of the people on set got COVID tests.
We almost always followed most of the laws. Exactly, Fabu Moose. We almost did it the right way.
Yeah.
Most of the script was words that I wrote. It's just, it was bad play. And it's unfortunate because, charity is, free art for charity is always a cool thing. And as someone who wasn't the big Snyder Cut fan, I would have watched this. I would have checked it out. I probably would have donated. You know what I mean? Like, I would have been interested to see what fans doing something good for charity looks like. Yeah. Because that's stuff that I want to support, right? Mm-hmm. And it really sucks that it came to this because it's just a black mark. And it's just not good. Art, don't steal art, y'all.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not a cute look.
We followed most of the laws most of the time, more or less, possibly. Exactly, Hardcore Soft Popcorn.
Yeah.
Don't ever tweet most of when you're being accused of something. It's really, it's not good.
Yeah. Yep. Don't do it. I cannot believe that, yeah.
I just expect some, celebrity who's being accused of some improprieties in his relationship to be like, well, I didn't gaslight her most of the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, yup. Most? Really?
Yeah. Definitely a word that you want to be very careful with.
Speaking of, someone brought up COVID, though.
Me?
Did you bring up COVID?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
most of the people got COVID tests.
I forgot to make a lower third for this.
Oh, no.
But we have some COVID news, unfortunately. And that is that some productions in the UK have been shut down recently following some COVID breakouts. The first was Bridgerton Season 2, which isn't surprising because I never watched Bridgerton Season 1, but my understanding is that it's just basically a big orgy, right?
No.
It's just like a bunch of people like kissing each other in the nude?
No. Not even a little bit.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You very clearly never watched Bridgerton.
I've not seen a moment. I think I may have seen a trailer.
No, you came in when I was watching it, but it was a sex scene, so that's probably why you think that's...
I don't know. They're just on top of each other all the time. That's how COVID gets around, y'all.
Don't have sex.
No, just don't go to orgies right now.
Right.
I feel like an orgy is not a pandemic location you want to be.
Activity. Yeah, that's fair.
The other production, and the sex jokes end here. Because the other production was the Netflix movie Matilda, which is filmed in the UK. Obviously no sex jokes because it's children and we don't do that.
Yep.
Matilda is an interpretation of, I believe, the musical, the Broadway musical, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's very fun.
I'm so excited for Netflix to do this. Interestingly, both of these are Netflix projects. But unfortunately, 2 productions currently shut down on hiatus because of COVID. They will come back. They will finish.
Kids are German.
But kids are German.
It is what it is.
Oh, good morning, Shin.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It is, and like we've had so many productions successfully work through the pandemic, but it does make people nervous when things like this come up because you question the safety of it. It's good that they're on top of it, though.
It's extra hard for something like Matilda because we're not yet at the point where we're vaccinating children.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position like that, your child cast is more at risk because they're probably not vaccinated, whereas your adult cast would all be vaccinated at this point.
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on how old the children are because I think you can, 12 and up has been approved, I thought.
Oh, can you?
I thought for, the Pfizer Moderna, I thought it was...
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was approved for children 12 to 17. However, with Matilda, they tend to skew pretty young. I think technically in the book, Matilda is 6 or something.
No, she can't be that young.
In the book, she's
Is she?
She's a freaking child.
The Broadway cast is all the Broadway cast was all 11 to 15.
Yeah. And then some adults as children, which was very weird to see.
Rebel Trooper has an interesting question. Is Matilda a Force user or an X-Men?
A Force user.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Force user as well.
Yes.
Rebel, and here's why.
Yeah.
She uses the way that she moves things is very reminiscent of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas telepathy in the X-Men comics just looks different, although it's drawn, so maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I would go Force user.
Yeah.
She has to center herself to use her powers.
Mm-hmm. She's
If you told me she was an X-Men, though, I'd believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd buy it. I don't know. That was kind of just my instinct.
I would say also the X gene doesn't activate until puberty. That's a good point, Vietnamese.
Big brain.
So, but if she's 13, then she could be an X-Man. But if she's 6, she can't be an X-Man.
I swear in the book she's very, very young. Should I Google it?
There are some X-Men. Oh, well, but aren't there some X-Men who have their mutations at birth though? Wasn't Beak born with a beak?
She's 5.
She's 5 years old?
Yeah, I was wrong. She's not 6.
Okay, so she's a Force user.
She's 5.
Yeah.
Wow, that is very young. I knew she was a literal child. But...
You know what I didn't realize I wanted was a Matilda Grogu crossover. You know what I mean?
Now?
In season 3 of The Mandalorian, I want Luke Skywalker teaching Matilda and Grogu.
I would watch that. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right, y'all, let's talk about some box office. It's time for the weekend box office.
Let's do it.
Boom. Space Jam shocks Black Widow. Is that what you were suspecting? Expecting?
Welcome
Is that what y'all were...
Space Jam. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god. Y'all, I was watching someone, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Dan Merle, but they were like, Space Jam was a fine movie with maybe the world's greatest soundtrack, and I was like, do I love the original Space Jam because the music was good?
Yeah. That's legit. Space Jam is a bop, and I've never seen it. That's how you know, right?
Space Jam is a bop, and I've never seen it. The Cloris Dracarys story.
Yeah, true.
I have a feeling that you could name every movie you've seen. Which is like something I feel like most people our age couldn't do. But you've seen like 12 movies.
No, I haven't. I just spent too much time rewatching Shrek. Joni, thank you so much for the follow.
Joni, boy swag, thank you for the follow. Some people went to go see the movies this weekend. Not as many as I think people were expecting.
We did.
We did. We finally saw Fast 9. It was dumb, but it's good.
Movie.
It's fun. If you like fast movies, you'll like it. If you don't, you won't.
Not necessarily. No.
I think that if you like the fast movies, you'll have a fun time.
Sure.
Yeah. Space Jam 2, though, that's what we're here to talk about, came in first this weekend, shocking everyone. People mostly expected Black Widow to have a very solid second weekend, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we talk about what happened to Black Widow, let's take a look at these numbers. The top number there is the millions of dollars that it made this weekend. The bottom number is the global cum so far for that movie in its entirety of its release. Space Jam: A New Legacy is in number 1 with $31.6 million. Black Widow came in second at $26.2 million. That was a 67% drop from last weekend.
Oof.
The other new movie on the top 5 is Escape Room Tournament of Champions, coming in at $8.8 million. Fast 9, The Fast Saga, came in at $7.6 million, only a 33% drop from its previous weekend. Boss Baby Family Business rounds out the top 5 at $4.7 million, dropping only 46%, and that's in its third week of release. Those are the numbers there. Filling out the top 10, we did have the two that dropped out of the top 5 from last week, The Forever Purge and A Quiet Place Part 2. Quiet Place Part 2 still only dropped 27% this weekend. It's 8 weeks in release, made 155 domestic. It's got to be happy about that.
Nice.
And then in 8th place I wanted to talk about was Roadrunner, a film about the recently deceased Anthony Bourdain. It was a documentary about his life that is getting just incredible reviews. I really want to see it. That cracked the top 10. And still in the top 10, Cruella and the new movie Pig, starring Nicolas Cage. But Space Jam: A New Legacy definitely shocked everyone, coming in $31 million on its opening weekend. Mm-hmm. I think that that is the power of LeBron James, because the reviews are bad.
Yep.
The reviews are, like, bad. But the movie did well.
Yep. I don't know. I think it's more so the power of Lola Bunny, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of guys out there went to hate watch it.
Oh, because of the anger over her not being hot anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling that contributed as well.
I'm not gonna lie. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm really okay not being sexually attracted to an animated character in a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Totally fine with that.
And I can't say that about the first Lola Bunny in Space Jam 1. So, I'm super down for the change.
Yep.
Because boy,
Please
is that
don't
confusing.
Confuse me like this.
Hardcore Soft Popcorn says, I'm sure Space Jam activated many a furry fetish in millennials. I'm really glad I didn't go that far. You know? Yeah,
but definitely somebody did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I quite yeah. I liked the Lola Bunny when I was a kid, and that was something I had to work through with a therapist, and now I'm good.
That specifically? Did it come up?
No. I'm making jokes.
I know.
But like I'm very aware of the fact that like when I was like 13, I was like, Lola Bunny's really hot. And
yeah. It's his eyes.
It's well no and the way she shot and like the way she walked, like it was intentional. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cartoons I found attractive though, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Judy Hopps in Zootopia. I don't know. Yeah. does it for me.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's, like, cutesy. She's not, like, sexy.
Yeah, but she's, like, spunky.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's the thing. I don't know. I was like, wow, this is... like, if I was in this world, that's who I would date.
You said, yeah,
No, we said we weren't making sex jokes about Matilda. This is a whole different... Yeah. That was a whole different part of the show.
No, this is the nightly morning show.
Like, I could see it was meant to be the hot girl for bugs, but for people. No, they knew what they were doing. Hydra.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Nerdy is attracted to rabbits. It's not just rabbits, though. There are other anime characters. Anyway, Black Widow fell 67%. There were people at the beginning of the weekend who thought they were going to fall 80%. It only fell 67%, which is better. But theater owners are pissed.
Why?
The NATO, not NATO, the one that you're thinking of, the international one. We're talking about NATO, the National Association of Theater Owners, came out blasting Disney for its Disney Plus release strategy, saying that the reason that this movie is not doing as well in theaters as a Marvel movie typically should is because it's on Disney Plus. And they're probably right. But also, theaters aren't open, so it's tough.
Well, I mean, they're open in North America now.
We didn't get to see Black Widow in theaters.
No, I know, but we could right now. We could have gone this weekend.
Right, but if we wanted to see it opening weekend, we couldn't.
Here's the thing. If we had not already seen Black Widow on Disney Plus, I think we would have paid to go see that before Fast 9.
I agree with you, but I'm also saying that people aren't going back to the theaters yet.
Yeah.
LA just reinstated its mask mandate indoors. People are hesitant. There are still a lot of the population who are not going to go to a movie theater right now. It's not worth the risk for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who have immune-compromised conditions who pre-pandemic would happily go to a movie theater who are not going to go to a movie theater right now.
Yeah.
So the national theater owners being like, this is 100% on Disney Plus's fault. A lot of the people who watched on Disney Plus were not going to go to your theater. And Disney made that calculation. I do not think Disney is going to keep this going forever. I don't think I don't think Shang-Chi. I'm trying to get that freaking pronunciation out of my head because I've been pronouncing it one way since I was a child.
Right.
But it's Shang-Chi, and I want to get that right. Shang-Chi will not be on Disney Plus day one.
Right.
Right? So the movie theater owners can be as upset as they want to be about Black Widow, but the reality is Black Widow is coming out in this weird crossover time, and the statement from NATO, the National National Association of Theater Owners, not the North American Trade Organization. He in it, the president or CEO or whatever literally said, the hybrid online model is a thing of the pandemic and we should get rid of it. The pandemic's not over.
Yeah.
We're not post-pandemic. The Delta variant is sweeping the world right now, and there's a Lambda variant that we might have to worry about soon. Like, the pandemic isn't over.
Yeah.
And I totally get, if we get to September, October, November, and we're out of the pandemic and people are still releasing things online, that's bad.
Yeah.
It's still bad then. But we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but we're really not... NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
we were close. we were close. Y'all, we're actors. We don't know. I don't know what NATO is.
No, let's be honest.
All I know is that it's like the organization that avocados are held up in contention over.
What?
There's a lot of the conversation in NATO apparently is about avocados from Mexico. Avocados from Mexico.
Yeah.
Because of like they're a very expensive thing, and so there's a lot of trade stuff around them currently.
All right. Sure.
I read an article one time about it. That might not be. It might not be as important as I think, but. Yes, when I'm saying NATO in this story, I'm talking about the National Association of Theater Owners, not the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or something.
I mean, look, I can understand why they're upset. You know, they've had it rough these
100%.
past,
No, I agree with that, yeah.
year and a half, right? I get it. But, let them be angry for a few minutes because, like you said, Disney is not putting Shang-Chi on Disney+. So. Yeah,
I just think that this is like this is a temporary problem. I think that more people are going to go back to the theaters. I think it's going to happen. Yeah. And we went and saw Fast 9 on Friday.
Yeah, and it was great.
It was great to be in a theater. I got very emotional. So here's what happened. I was walking through the mall on Friday, And Klaus was at a photo shoot, and I turned a corner, and the movie theater didn't have its metal gate down for the first time in a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
I turned a corner, I saw that, and I teared up. I love going to the movies. Like, I genuinely love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I was the person who MoviePass shut down because MoviePass told me I could go see a movie every day for $9.99 a month, and I went to every matinee. I was working nights, and so I'd get up, I'd go watch a movie, I'd go to the gym, and then I'd go to work, and that was my day, probably 4 days a week, and I loved it. I love movie theaters, and I got very emotional when they opened up, and then we went and saw Fast 9, and it was fine. I wish a different movie had been our first movie back, but, you know, seeing that open was so great. And I'm so excited. I'm going to be going to the movies a lot. Sorry, babe. I know we don't have that much money, but that's, you know, we'll figure it out. I'm going to get a job. Also, if there's any, like, Toronto, like, review boards or something that want to, like, let me go to screenings and I'll talk about the movies on my YouTube channel. Hi, my name's Nerdy. I get Nerdy Nightly. I want to share it with you, please. Because I don't have enough money to see everything I want to see, but I would like to see everything I want to see. You know, it's like, and I will talk about it. Like I talk about Javi Coffee.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to get invited to screeners.
NATO threatens action against Disney. That's a clickbait headline if I ever heard one. I don't know if that's a clickbait headline. That's probably been true many times. Hot Cross Off Popcorn. All right. Is there anything else in this box office you want to talk about?
No, nothing stands out to me. I mean, Cruella's still holding on, so that's fun. But
barely. I mean, it's bringing in. It brought in $1 million this weekend.
Right.
Black Widow is not going to do that well overall. I think Black Widow will maybe hit 500 million. It won't do nearly as well as Fast 9. Part of the we should talk about. Black Widow still does not have a release in China. Yeah. So that's a big deal. A lot of the MCU's money has come from China.
Yep.
You want to know why Avengers Endgame almost beat Avatar? It temporarily beat Avatar?
Temporarily.
China. Lots of money in China for the MCU. They like those superheroes in the Middle Kingdom. And unfortunately, Black Widow still doesn't have a date to open there. So its international box office really hinges on whether or not it opens in the largest box office in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure they're on that.
Yeah, it's just July's a weird time. Because July is a month where the Chinese box office typically shuts out American and Western films and focuses on Chinese-made films.
Oh,
and so
okay.
July is an awkward time to open a Western film worldwide because you don't really get a worldwide release. You get a worldwide except China release, and then China will slot Black Widow into its release schedule at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah. See, I'm glad we stuck with the box office for one more second. But it's time to move on, and it is the middle of the show, so you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Chorus makes up the news.
No, it doesn't work the same. I hate this.
But Rebel Trooper's so hyped over it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Ancient Hydra's hyped over it.
Great.
You gotta make up the news, babe.
Yeah.
Hopefully faster than last week.
Thank you.
She who makes up the news. That's a Loki reference. Shh, no spoilers.
I'm burdened with glorious purpose.
Yeah, the glorious purpose is to make up the news. Come on. Be funny. Dance, monkey.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
This is your favorite part of the show, Rebel? Watching me squirm?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's why I do it to you every week.
Wow, thank you.
We've been doing this for almost a year. And
yeah.
she's still this unprepared every single
What
time.
am I supposed to do? If I prepare it, I'm not making up the news.
No, but you're unprepared for the moment. Every time you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I have to do this.
Well, because I never know when it's coming. And then it just, like, depends on if my brain thinks of anything good.
All right, stop talking about making up the news and make up the news. Come on, let's go.
This is going really well.
I need to start having a timer at the bottom
No,
that just ticks
you
up.
can't do that. That'll make it 10 times worse. It'll make it take like 60 times longer. It's like, should I make up something about Space Jam, but I've never seen the first one, so can't really do that.
You could make it up, right? It's made up news.
The plot of Space Jam.
The Bad Batch Baker's Dozen Special Edition Oreos, are those real?
That sounds delicious.
Hardcore Soft Popcorn is making up the news, and now I'm hungry.
Yeah, how dare.
Oh, she's trying to improvise hardcore. This is Clara's improvising.
Nope, I made it up. Wow, well, you're really good at this. We should hire you instead.
I wonder if the sun will still be up by the time you make the news.
Wow. Wow. Gillian, that is different. Okay, it's easier because I get to play off other people. When I have to initiate something, I get zero ideas. Brain burr. Like...
Jeez.
What?
Oh, we're just 3 minutes into this now.
Are you literally counting?
Yeah, I'm watching the clock.
Oh my god, I hate it.
I love this so much. I don't know if this is... I don't know if anyone else enjoys this, but this time, before she actually makes up the news, is my favorite thing.
On stage when another actor missed the line, she has to cover for it. See, that I'm good at, because there's a thing there to play off of. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. Guys, there's a third NATO. There's a third NATO that we didn't talk about today.
What does it stand for?
Well,
You're
NATO.
so screwed.
In this case, it stands for Norse aesthetic theater. Sorry, I had it memorized. Stands for, what did I say? No, wait.
What did I say?
Wait, what did I say? Norse attire? What did I say? I forgot. What did I say?
You really don't remember what you just said?
I remember what you just said.
How did you just forget?
Oh yeah, okay. No. It's Norse aesthetic, Norse aesthetic, treaty optimizations. Yeah. So,
No, you definitely said theater.
No. It's, I checked. You know, sorry, I get the news and I read it really quick and then I gotta deliver it for you guys on the spot.
Why is there a treaty about Norse aesthetic?
Well, because you know, there's a lot of love for Norse mythology and games and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so people are like, well, what if, you know, we bring that like Viking vibe into our daily lives? So there is a NATO is bringing.
Sorry, what does that stand for again?
Norse aesthetic. Let me check. Oh wow, my inbox is really full.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god. What does it stand for? You've said it twice, 2 different ways actually. The first one you said was, I can't believe you don't remember. The first one was Norse aesthetic theater, blank.
Yeah, that's
and the
wrong.
second one was Norse aesthetic treaty optimization.
Yeah, Norse aesthetic treaty optimization. So people are going back on their like countries. Countries are coming together and they're like, hey, you know, our treaties kind of outdated. Let's go outdate them even further, and we're gonna take a thumb out of the page out of the Vikings
so
book.
This is an organization that optimizes modern treaties
Yes.
for Norse aesthetic?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, the Norse aesthetic, they would have like these like rituals and stuff. They would have feasts. Everyone loves a good feast, right? So
Facts. No cap.
Right? So when you're settling debates between big countries, you got like a feast is a great way to break the ice. It's a great way to get people happy and drunk and nobody's hangry. So it's like a good like kickoff to writing a treaty between countries. And
all right.
Yeah, so they bring the aesthetic and they're like, this is what we do. We offer face painting services, we offer costuming services, we offer catering services. It's very in depth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one last question before we move on. What does your NATO stand for?
My NATO stand?
Yeah. What did you?
Norse aesthetic treaty optimization.
Okay, she did remember that time. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Wow, that was special, babe.
Jawohl.
Jawohl. Skull, everyone. Skull.
Yeah.
God, I need to finish Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some final bits of news here. First, I want to talk about this is a rumor. This is some this is not confirmed. So I just want to we don't usually talk about rumors, but
we
this
got
is
excited.
Not confirmed. But I wanted to talk about this because it's interesting. It appears that the world of Star Wars, in the form of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, has cast a young actress to play a childhood Princess Leia. Which is super, super interesting and also weird.
I just want to point out that last night David was
shut
like,
up. Be
David
quiet.
was like,
no,
wow,
shut
this
your
is
mouth.
really cool because it's the first time one of the big three is going to be represented by another actor. Like Luke, Leia, and Han. And I was like,
I forgot about Solo. I forgot about a whole movie.
A whole dang movie.
And I like that movie quite a bit.
I know.
I am one of
surprised.
the like biggest Solo defenders. When if you want to get into a fight about Solo, you'll find a competitor in me.
I like Solo.
Because I like that movie a lot. I really enjoyed it.
But David forgot it existed. But yeah.
So Frank means Billie Lourd is too old. The girl they cast is like 8.
Yeah. It's like a young Leia.
This is
like she is not gonna understand the weight on her shoulders.
Vivian Lyra Blair is the actress. She was in We Can Be Heroes, the superhero movie on Netflix, and she was in Bird Box, also on Netflix. Netflix actress.
Nice.
And oh yeah, sorry Hydra. There's no Disappointed on the morning show. That's only in my gaming streams. There was someone who was the body double for Luke and Mando. Yeah, but Mark Hamill is still the performance in that scene, Gillian. So I wouldn't consider that. But this is young Leia. And apparently the impetus for Obi-Wan going on the journey that he goes on in this show will be because of young Leia. I'm assuming someone will be playing young Luke in the show as well. We'll probably see Luke like in the distance. Obi-Wan will be watching him like a creep.
Ben! I hate that scene. I hate it. Ben! Like, bro. You good? God damn it.
And just walking out. My favorite part is the arms. When Ben Kenobi walks out for the first time, and he's just like a drunk sailor, like.
Yeah, and you're like, are you okay?
But yeah, this girl is about to become very, very, very talked about, and I hope that she has a good family unit around her.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine. Being
God.
the first person to play Leia in live action that isn't Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Like, this girl is going to become very famous very fast right now.
Yeah.
And, she's a child. And so this is my plea to the universe. Take care of this girl.
Yes.
Disney, take care of this girl.
Seriously.
Because, goddamn.
Because that does shit to you. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, she has been in other stuff. So it sounds like this, this is, her and the people around her probably understand the industry. Obviously, this is like a huge deal.
Yeah.
But it is still just a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's exciting.
It is exciting. I really love Leia, Princess of Alderaan. There's a book. It's about Leia as a child, and you get to know her parents, Bail and Breha, and it's really fascinating. The world of Alderaan is really interesting. That book is fantastic. It's where you meet Holdo, who's very different in the book from The Last Jedi, but that's not a complaint. She grows up. She loses some of her quirks as she grows up. It's fine. But young Holdo is very much like Luna Lovegood in character. And that book is just fantastic. So I really like the young Leia stuff that we've gotten so far in media. I'm really excited to get more of that, to see the, spunky, rambunctious girl that she was, that, grew up to be the leader and really just like, magnetic force for good that she became as an adult.
Mm-hmm. And
so getting to see the beginning of that journey is really nice in this. I think that if anything would get Obi-Wan off planet, it would be Leia, because Obi-Wan's whole life, post Revenge of the Sith, is protect the twins, right? And so the only thing that would pull him away from Tatooine would be if one of the twins was in danger, the one that's on planet. This totally makes sense in terms of a casting, in terms of storytelling. And yeah, there's also along with this rumor was the rumor that Sung Kang from the Fast series, Han, is going to be playing the main villain of this series in one of the Inquisitors, which is great casting. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, honestly, this Kenobi series, this is just another thing that makes this Kenobi series like must watch for me. Yeah. I'm so excited.
It's really shaping up to be something. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, young Leia. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be weird. This girl is literally going to carry that torch in a way from now on. Yeah. And it's a lot. That's heavy.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot to put on a child.
Yep. She'll be great.
Oh, yeah. And Ewan McGregor will be there, and I just trust him.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah. I love him so much.
Yeah.
All right, last news story. Ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2. Guys, handhelds. Handheld gaming devices.
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, so, we talked a little bit about the new Switch already.
Mm-hmm.
And the consensus kind of was that is cool, but having an OLED screen with 720p graphics doesn't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need crazy graphics on it. 1080 is great. There's just they're putting OLED in there, and it seems like for no reason. The most interesting part about it was that you could just Ethernet directly to the Switch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was kind of the most interesting thing. But other than that, it was like, okay, new Switch, cool, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I like the new dock more than I like the new Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not great. But on the other side of that, Steam announced that they are going to compete with the Switch by making a Nintendo Switch.
Basically.
But,
more hardcore. So you can,
Kind of?
Well, you can play, what they were saying, you can play Jedi Fallen Order on it, which is not a small game.
If you can fit... But here's the thing. You're not competing with the Switch if you're playing Jedi Fallen Order, because you're not getting the base model. They announced the Steam Deck at $400.
Right.
The $400 model has a 64 gigabyte memory in it. That's not enough for Jedi Fallen Order. That's not enough for most PC games that you're going to want to play.
Yeah. The reason to get the Steam Deck is to play, your big immersive games. Instead of getting a Switch. I mean, there's lots of games on the Switch and you can do what you do. But the Steam Deck, when they announced this, I was like, oh, cool, these are the kind of games that I'd be so excited to play. And they're all big and beefy and... how much is it going to cost if you want to play a real game? So
the 64 gigabit model, which is just too small, because here's the thing. So the 64 gigabit model is 500 Canadian, 400 US, right? That's about $100 more than a Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch has a micro SD slot. So you can upgrade the storage of your Nintendo Switch. I have upgraded the storage of my Nintendo Switch with a 256 gigabyte card, right?
Yeah.
So for $100 more, you can get the Steam Deck 64 gigabytes with an eMMC hard drive, right? There's not even an SSD in this thing until you get to the $659 Canadian model, which is a 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD. So you're really, for almost double the price of the Nintendo Switch, you can have the Steam Deck compete. The competitor of the Switch is double the price of the Switch.
Yeah, most people are not going to be getting your base model, and I think that, like, as a business tactic, it's a poor one.
Well, I guess the base model is there because they wanted something that was almost the price of the Switch, but I honestly can't recommend getting it.
Who's gonna get that?
Yeah. The other models are great, but they're twice as much. The one that I would get personally is the 512 gigabit one, but it's $819 Canadian.
Yeah.
Like the one that I would actually want to play.
More than a PS5.
And what's frustrating is, so the 819, it is more than a PS5, and honestly, it probably can't run those games half as well as a PS5 can.
Yeah.
The $819 model has the premium anti-glare etched glass, which I would want on a handheld device.
Yeah,
you're telling me I don't have anti-glare glass on
my other. Yeah.
The Steam Deck it's a weird conversation because there's just a part of me that's like, it's great in a lot of ways. It's really cool to see someone finally competing with Nintendo in the handheld market. Handhelds are great, but they're also putting out a device that they're like trying to make it a handheld PC.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned that they're going about that in a way where they're like they're splitting their interests. If they wanted to make a really solid handheld PC, don't have the $400 model. Don't try and compete with the Switch, because that's not what you're trying to make.
Yeah.
But
the people who are interested in buying a Switch are not going to be interested in buying the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
They're too different. They're two different markets. It's too diverse. Like the actual interest in your product is going to be that top tier model.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's kind of is not worth it to get the other two.
Yeah, I think I think it's just interesting because we got two handhelds announced within a week of each other, and both of them are. I am mildly disappointed with both of them.
Yeah.
I think that Nintendo adding an OLED screen but not having 1080p resolution on the Switch is really disappointing.
Yeah.
And I think that the Steam Deck coming out as being the and here's the thing, if they had come out and been like, it's a $600 Steam Deck, I'd have been like, that's really cool. But their advertisement was $400 PC in your hands, and I was like, $400, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, the $400 is it doesn't have an SSD, it's a hard drive, it's 64 gigabytes, it's running a Linux system.
You could play like Jackbox on it.
You can fit Hades on it.
Yeah, but you can play Hades on your Switch.
Well, but if you don't have a Switch and you're trying to choose between the two.
Sure, I guess.
But it's also more expensive than a Switch.
Yeah, like why?
I guess it depends on what kind of games you want to play. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever get the $400 version. And
I think that's the problem I have with it, is they market it as the $400 Steam Deck, and I'm like, no. It's the $650 at least Steam Deck with a $400 model that you shouldn't buy.
No.
What's interesting is that there is an M.2 slot in the 64 gigabit model. So there is potential that you would be able to upgrade it yourself and have more storage and have an SSD in there. But the cost of that SSD is going to put you
up to the $650.
Say you buy a $200 SSD drive, right? That puts you over the 256 gigabit model. So I'm just kind of like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Miller, I don't know if it can play mods. That's actually an interesting question. I have no idea whether or not the Steam Deck can play mods.
Not sure at this point.
Because I'm not sure that it would have the interface from. That's interesting.
I don't know.
The one thing about it that I will say is great is that it does have display out, so you can actually use it as a dock, like the Switch. You can dock it and display to a computer and use keyboard and mouse on the computer. Mm-hmm. That would involve you having to have a monitor. Which
means you probably have a PC.
But if you have a wireless PC and mouse and you have this, you hook it up to your TV and you're playing PC games on your TV, like that could be really cool if it's strong enough to run that.
But you could just use your monitor, your TV as one of your monitors.
Yeah, but for your Steam Deck.
Or for your computer, like.
No, but if you don't have that, right? If this can actually run, say this can run not Cyberpunk. I doubt this can run Cyberpunk, but say this can run like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right? Like you could play that on your TV for the price of a PS5. You could run Assassin's Creed Odyssey on your television through the Steam Deck. You know, like that's pretty good.
I guess.
And you can take it with you, right? And you can play it on the road, and you know what I mean. Like there is a lot of potential here. I think it's really just based on how it runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I got really excited for this, like, initially when they first announced it. I was like, that's such a cool idea. And now I'm kind of like, well, this doesn't really make any sense.
I think if the $400 model to me seemed viable, like, honestly, if the $400 model just had a 64GB SSD, it would even be more interesting. I don't know why it doesn't. I don't know why you would put Cyberpunk requires 62 gigabits disk space. Sort of Hydra, but after patches and stuff, it's not the 64 gigabit model won't fit it. But also like I just don't.
Well, like GTA is like 100 gigabytes.
Oh yeah, GTA won't fit on this.
Right, like. I'm trying to think. I don't really know games what they are size-wise off the top of my head, but it's just like.
Well, and that's 64 gigabits. That you're not going to get all 64 of those gigabits, right? Like
no,
some of that's going to be system.
That's going to be the system stuff. You know, it's not actually 64 gigabits. It's whatever's left over after you download all.
You're either playing like you're either playing really small games, or the 64 gigabit you're loading one game at a time. I don't know. I don't understand why this.
Maybe you could play Civ.
I don't understand why. Well, but
you can play that on the Switch.
Can you play Civ without keyboard and mouse?
Yeah.
I think it's just clicking. Yeah.
I used to play Civ on like a tablet with a
touch
pen.
Screen, yeah.
Yeah.
If this has a touch screen, that would actually be interesting. It doesn't say anything about a touch screen.
Then it probably doesn't.
A touch screen on this would be kind of great, though, right? Also, I don't like where the buttons are personally, but that's
they're so high up.
They're so high up. The button layout's a little bit weird to me, but
yeah. So you could play Civ, I guess. Actually, well, it depends on what the chip is in there. Because for Civ, it requires, like, really high CPU. Not graphics, but, like...
It's an AMD Zen 2 plus RDNA 2 powerhouse is what they call it.
I'm not familiar enough with chips to know, but...
What's interesting is that in all of the ads that they've put out, all the games and all the ads apparently have been games that have been ported to the Switch.
Yeah. Play Sims. Yeah, you can play Sims on there, I guess.
There's a dock... There's a bunch of games you can't play on it yet because they're not like optimized for it. Because the game it does run on Linux.
Does it connect to the internet?
Oh god, yeah.
You could play maybe ESO.
That would actually be interesting if you could play if you could use it to play like MMOs.
I don't know.
Take WoW on the road with you if you have a good enough Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the $400 model is the thing that I balk at here because they really that opening day marketing was like it's a $400 Switch competitor, and I don't think the $400 model is actually a Switch competitor.
No, I don't think so either.
But I do think the $819 model, if the buttons are good, and that's going to be a big thing. If the buttons are good, I think the like full size 512 gigabit model is a legitimate handheld PC, depending on how it runs games. But
how heavy is it? I wonder.
I have no idea. It looks big.
Yeah, like it looks bulky. So.
Yeah, the buttons are so high up.
Yeah.
It's really weird placement.
Yeah, I don't love that. Like, I'll probably have a hard time holding it.
I don't know. I hope this is a huge success because I want there to be more competitors in the handheld space. I really like the handheld space. This one just, I don't know that I'm going to go out and buy the first edition of this. I think I'll wait for the Steam Deck 2.
Yeah.
When they've ironed out the kinks.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Like, we were like, oh damn, wouldn't it be really cool to like get this and review and talk about it? But I'm kind of like, I don't really want it.
If we had a bunch of extra money in the fall,
sure,
we wouldn't be able to buy it because the other side of the story, and we'll end on this, is that the people buying this thing, the scalpers who nabbed all the pre-orders, were trying to pre-sell the device they don't have in their hands yet. Which is really complicated because I have some unfortunate news if you have pre-ordered this. You might not get this until next year. Even if you pre-ordered it for December, you might not get your Steam Deck until Q3 of next year.
Why?
Because filling the orders is going to be difficult. So even if you currently have a pre-order for this, you don't know when you're going to get it. If you ordered this for someone for Christmas, there's a really good chance you're not seeing this until next year.
Wow. Yeah.
Especially if you order it, apparently the bigger models might take longer. The 512 gigabit model. And so I don't want to speculate negatively because I want this to be a success. But according to Steam, they're trying to set up the precedent that people will not get these on time. And I think that people don't care if you set the precedent. If you say it early, they're still going to be upset. And I think that there's going to be a lot of anger in the news about this as December, January, February come around and people have not received the Steam Decks they've already paid for.
Oh, yeah. People are going to be... I would be livid.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so upset. You can't do that. Like...
It's complicated. But so scalpers have had all of their pre-sale, pre-order, whatever, scalping pulled down off of eBay. Because eBay is saying that if you can't ship it out in the next 30 days, you can't sell it on eBay. And these scalpers, they don't know when they're going to get it. They're selling the future purchase that they will get at some point that they don't know to someone else for 3 times the price. It's insane.
Yeah.
But eBay is cracking down on them, being like, you don't know when you're getting this.
Yeah.
Don't sell the future device that you don't have yet.
Okay, well, at least they're doing something about it.
Yeah, eBay is saying that if you can't ship it in the next 30 days, you can't sell it. That's their policy. So they are taking down the scalpers who are already scalping the Stream Deck for over $1,500. Like,
oh my god.
I know. I hate scalpers so much.
Yeah, people suck.
They might even recall everything due to some battery malfunction. Who knows?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The full-fledged model of this is really cool. It is. I don't love the I don't love the button placement. I don't love that it's on I don't love that it's not on Windows. Like Linux, I have a hard time with.
I've never tried it.
It's just like more. It's like Windows, but you kind of have to do things yourself.
Yeah.
And Windows hasn't already done it for you, and that's great for people who are smarter than me. But I'm kind of a dum-dum. I kind of need you to hold my hand. That's why I'm a Mac user. I like that Apple figured out how to make everything work for me, and then I just kind of,
Okay.
I'm look, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to spend an hour trying to make my computer work. I just want it to work. And there are people who love that, and to those people, I'm in awe of you. You know what I mean? To the heavy modders, to the people who actually do all that stuff, it's really cool. It's just not me. I'm not smart enough. I also don't care enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When the operating system just works the way it's supposed to, I'm a happy boy.
All right.
The makers of Cyberpunk basically said, hey, we've heard you. We want the game now in whatever state it's in. Just be warned, it's going to have issues that haven't been worked out yet, and the Sans still freaked out. That's not totally true, Hydra.
Yeah.
They lied about how it was going to run on the PS4.
Yeah, they did.
They straight up lied about how it was going to run on the PS4.
Yeah.
Hydra. That's not 100% what happened. They put out a video saying that it would work. They put out a video saying this is PS4 footage, and it was not.
It's not. And, that's shady.
Oh, sure, but the PC stuff, there wasn't as much anger about the PC stuff around Cyberpunk as around...
No, it was the
PS4,
who got
really.
it for the PS4.
And the
Xbox.
Xbox.
This doesn't work.
Yeah. I didn't, you can go back and watch my Cyberpunk video. It's still public. I never took it down. I was very hot on Cyberpunk. I had a great time playing that game. Mm-hmm. My review of that is very positive. And the outrage for Cyberpunk was really more about the consoles and less about that.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our show. That's kind of all the news.
Hey.
Hey, scalpers, fuck off!
Yeah.
Stop it!
Yeah, we don't like you.
I can't stand it.
You suck.
I know. I just can't stand these people who are just making everything worse.
Yep.
Yeah. Is Cyberpunk good now? It was. I liked it when it came out, so I'm assuming they've only made it better, right?
But yeah, they've done a lot of patches. So.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. The AI in the game's bad, but
yeah, I didn't love it. I got really frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Miller,
But I loved it.
I tried playing it once, and I was like, meh, and then I tried playing it again, and I was like, nope.
To be fair, it is all shooting and driving, the two things you are worst at in video games.
Sure, but, the AI is so dumb. I was just, walking down the street, and all of a sudden, cops start shooting at me, and I was like...
Yeah, pretty much. They've fixed the police AI a little bit, but not fully. Because apparently now when you break the law, the police spawn further away from you, but they still spawn. I don't know. But
I didn't break the law. I was literally walking down the street. And all, they were, arresting somebody.
It is illegal for you to be that hot, so.
Oh my God.
Y'all, thank you for a great show this morning. You jaywalked.
Yeah, so they shot me.
It's the appropriate response in the future. God. In the dystopic future of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Y'all, thank you for a great show this morning. This one was fun. If you're
thanks,
watching on
guys.
YouTube, like and subscribe to the video. If you don't want to like it, dislike it. Leave me in comments down below. We can take it. And also, the algorithm god is hungry, and we must feed her. As always, you can follow us over on Twitch. How to spell our names is up here. I am at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
I'm over at twitch.tv/ClarisToCars.
And as always, my name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarouche.
Do something nerdy tonight, you dang nerds.
Bye.
Bye.